What's up, everyone? This is Griever here, bringing you guys another gaming review, except this time, I didn't beat this game. You know what? I didn't even play the game, from what I understand, even halfway through, if not even a quarter of the way through. And that game is none other than Monster Hunter World. Now, I just want to say one thing quick in advance. This video is just going to be a quick rant. It's not going to be a real review, okay? Because I don't know what the difficulty of the trophy guide is. I heard that like getting the platinum takes, a lot of hours, but doable. It's a average difficulty, but you're gonna have to put a lot of time investment. It's 100 plus hour, 130 plus hour platinum. Okay, fine dandy. I'll never find out because you know what? I quit the damn game. I played this game when it was $20 on the PlayStation Store back in the summer. My buddies told me they had it, and it was like, okay, let's do this. Let's have some gaming nights like we used to. It's a fun game. We can all play together, all take down these giant monsters. We were thinking kind of like a Diablo mixed with Dragon's Dogma, fighting huge monsters, grappling them, trying to take down as a party together, getting loot, that kind of stuff, right? Exploring this great world together, in a kind of a LAN party sort of idea. Yeah, it's a little nerdy, and we're all adults now, but, it kind of lets you jump back. You just have a Friday night with a few of your friends, a few TVs, and just enjoy, right? So it's good for stress, it's good for all that. So either way, that was the intention behind this game. We had already played the shit out of Diablo 3 and stuff, and we were looking for another game. We're very big on RPGs and adventure games, and unfortunately, some of us aren't really that much into the shooter aspect. Like myself, I'm not a big FPS player. So we thought we'd pick this up. This would work. Okay, all I gotta say is I understand that the Monster Hunter franchise apparently has had these staples this whole time. Now, this is my first time ever playing a Monster Hunter game. So maybe I didn't really know what I was in for. $20, I figured, why the hell not? Give it a go. From what I understood, it was supposed to be is sort of a lackluster MMO, well, a land-based MMO more so, but it was supposed to be an action-adventure RPG. That was the premise that I got, right? And I love those. The problem with this game is they took away two very, very core elements of an RPG. Now, potentially, I am wrong about one of these elements because I didn't get far enough in the damn game. I got to the point where you go to that icy sort of planet, you fight the Velociraptor flower wannabes, and then you try to take down that like ice dragon thing. I got about that far, right? So I played through quite a few of the maps before I eventually I was grinding and grinding and grinding. Okay, here's the thing. RPGs, you are meant to grind. That 100 plus hour platinum, that's the reason. Grinding. Whether it's for crafting materials, whether it's to get to level 100, whether it's to beat the secret bosses and you need to grind for the best weapons and grind for the materials and grind for that. Grinding is a part of RPGs. I got zero problem with grinding. The problem is that I have with this game is no matter how much I grind at lower level worlds, at a world right below this one, it's not going to matter. That is the problem. Maybe I've been playing this game wrong, guys. Maybe. But I put valuable time into it. I put over 20, 25 hours into the game-ish. I don't really know how many. Over 10, shall we say. Definitely over 15. And this game is not good. It's lacking two... let's just talk about the two elements. Number one, what does an RPG have? What separates an RPG what separates an actual RPG like Final Fantasy or Pokemon or any of those type of games from an adventure game like Mario or Zelda? What's the difference? What's the one core aspect that you can talk about? Well, a very simple one to start off with is a leveling system. A level up, an experience point gain system. That does not exist in Monster Hunter World. Don't tell me about those hunter ranks. Those don't do anything. And this is an issue because it takes away the grind. Now, potentially, we'll talk about why that might not be the case. But to me, that takes away the grind. No matter how much, if I want to sit down right now and I want to spend my entire week, I want to take the week off of work, and I just want to grind and grind and grind so I can get past this ice dragon that I had serious issues with. I just want to be over leveled so I can try to, because my skill isn't good enough. But the point of an RPG is then if you're not good enough at the game, or you're finding it difficult at level 50, then get to level 60 and try it. Have that extra bar of health. Have that one more item slot. Get that, strength stat up by 2 more points to do that little bit more damage that you're just getting close. You can't do that in this game. You don't level up. You level up this hunter's rank thing that doesn't increase stats. It doesn't increase armor value or health or anything like that. It's something for some other aspect of the game that I haven't even become a part of yet because I couldn't get past the main story. And don't get me wrong, I did bounties upon bounties upon bounties, and I forged and forged and forged. But an RPG, an action RPG game, an RPG adventure game that has no experience points and no level up system with no stat increases whatsoever, that is a core aspect missing from the game. Now, once again, I want to reiterate, I did not know this, and I understand that this is probably the way Monster Hunter games have been this whole time. So people are probably going to dislike the video and say, well, you picked up a game, you didn't understand it, that's not what this game is about, or the old Dark Souls thing, why don't you get good, and that kind of stuff. And I'm like, game's not that good anyways, guys. Sorry. It's like, it's not a lot of fun to try to get good at this game because the game isn't that interesting. The story isn't, the lore in the story isn't really all that intriguing, and like there's nothing there to keep me to continuously losing and coming up with different strategies and figuring out different things. There's nothing there keeping me to actually keep trying because the game is meh at the best of times. The character creator's not that great. The story I don't really give a shit about. And the gameplay is okay. Here's another problem. The targeting in the gameplay. You can get 1 or 2 hits off on an enemy, but one core aspect is like the Dragon's Dogma. The ability to grapple or the ability to auto-target so all your attacks constantly focus on the enemy. Those 2 aspects are also missing. Once again, people say that's more realistic. Get good. Well, I'm sorry. You're promoting this thing like it's an adventure RPG, and you're missing the level up experience point system and an auto target system, and like it's just no. I don't prescribe to that. Another key thing missing is enemy health bars. Not even enemy, boss health bars. Don't tell me about that whole skull icon at the on the mini map when they're getting close. If the first time I went up against something and lost, I want to know how close was I to killing that thing, right? I want to know, like, did I do, I can get the numbers and show me the numbers, but those numbers don't mean anything because there's no health bar. There's no health bar to showcase me that I'm actually doing any substantial damage. Like, I might be doing 1s and 2s to one enemy, but I might be doing 13s, 14 damage attacks to another enemy, but that enemy might have 4 times the amount of health. I have no idea. So I might fight something for 25 minutes, and I'm thinking like, okay, I died, but, I must have been close sort of idea. I must have gotten down to half. Meanwhile, I might have been doing shit all. I don't know. That's a problem. You need to have enemy health bars. Now, this is an aspect that I said was potentially there is an item or something you do get later in the game and I didn't get far enough so you can actually see the health item. But having that little skull icon, which I am telling you right now, might have been patched by now, but sometimes that does not appear. I have fought multiple of the boss bounty enemies, with crazy big names. I have fought them for the first time and I've fought them for the 10th time, and the skull icon sometimes appears, sometimes not. So sometimes you have no indication how close you are to killing this thing. You have no indication on how much damage you're actually doing, if it's worth to continuously lose and try to kill this thing. And once again, I would then suggest, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't, I've died 3 times, maybe I should level up a little more, but hold on, hold the phone, hold the phone, because guess what? Hello, Dial Monster Hunter World, is that you? Well, I just have one quick question. How am I supposed to know how close I am to killing this boss, man? Oh, Well, that's a bit of an issue, I believe, sir, because I have no indication whether I'm too low-leveled or not good enough to fight this boss yet. I have no indication if I'm even getting close to damaging it yet. Oh, what's that? Well, spend more time. Try to maybe level up. Well, that would be great, good sir, if you had a level up based system. Good day. That's what I'm talking about, right? There's a huge staple of a problem when you have a game based on that. When you have damaging numbers and invisible health bars, why not just show me the health bar? I could even forgive the whole level up thing if I had the health bar indicator. You know, I understand the level up was never part of Monster Hunter, apparently, which seems like something they should have added a long time ago. But having no health bars plus this problem is a huge issue. Also, another big issue is that people are going to tell me, well, no, you substitute. So those are my big two issues, right, guys? Those are my two main issues that basically made me, I'm not having fun, no matter how much blood, sweat, and tears I put into the game. If my skill level isn't, like, it's the same reason I'm still struggling with Bloodborne. I understand it's a great game and the lore and stuff, but at least I know that eventually I can get the timing down and get good. But by the time, I don't want to spend a whole weekend on one boss enemy every time to learn new tactics. I'm sorry. I don't. Unlike that, in the Bloodborne and Dark Souls games, yes, you fight different types of enemies, but at least the style of gameplay doesn't really change. Learning how to block and learning how to do this and learning how to do that, the timings should still be roughly, you know what I mean? It's just different. I feel like this game is unpolished in that way. If it was meant to be like that, I just don't want to spend that much time. Like, it's not a worthy investment of time to fight your way tooth and nail for there should be an easier part of the game. I should be good enough now that I should be going through and actually able to progress slowly in the story bit by bit. I shouldn't be hitting these roadblocks after roadblocks after roadblocks every single time I stop fighting. Oh, I finally beat the T-Rex. Now I jump to the next world and all of a sudden get my ass kicked. Like, every single time. Why? Why is this a thing? So I just did not care for this at all. So those are the two aspects. But as I was going to say before, the one thing that people are probably going to, comment on, if anybody watches this review, usually my game reviews don't do that well, but this aspect is the foraging, crafting, the grabbing of materials. And people are going to tell me that is the substitute for experience. That is the substitute for leveling up. Is that you're supposed to craft new armors, you're supposed to go and constantly kill enemies, kill more and more and more and more of them, get their scales, get the rare materials, get their items, and then you're supposed to craft the newer, better armor to boost your stats. Okay, well, what are you supposed to do when you have killed the second strongest thing that you can find? You craft it, you kill as many of those as you can, you get that armor. The only other armor you can craft is the armor of the next enemy, the last enemy out of all the worlds, out of all the maps that you are here that you can't kill. You get the best, you figure out, you fight it enough, or you go online and you figure out, okay, here's its resistances, here's its weaknesses, here's its strategy and stuff, and you grind and grind and grind for these crafting materials. Remember, spending hours grinding with no gain to any stats. You get these stats, those stats are limited to that armor, and that's as good as you can get. Then what do you suggest? Let me guess. Get good. No, I'm going to put the game down and go play something funner. I'm not going to play a game where I have to do this. And trust me, guys, I have played games like Lords of the Fallen and Bloodborne. Even though I struggle, at least I eventually feel like I can slowly accomplish something by slowly still playing the game. I did not feel like going back to the worlds with that pseudo rock head that began with a B and the crazy fish thing that began with a J and stuff like that. I didn't feel like going back and killing those for a whole weekend was making me any more skillful or any better at fighting the stupid ice dragon. There's a totally different thing there. At least in Lords of the Fallen and Bloodborne, when you constantly retry levels and stuff, you learn your tactics are getting better, your reflex are getting better, you're learning that kind of stuff. I don't feel that here. For one thing, the game doesn't have a polished enough battle system where you can tactically, the dodge rolling and the timing and stuff, it's just not very good. It feels clunky. And as a result of feeling clunky with no finesse to the control scheme to it to make it that way, it feels lackluster. You can do great. I could fight a boss enemy for 15 minutes, stellar, and all it takes is to screw up one time, and then basically your timing's lost, everything's lost, and you're screwed up. Then you go back. It's just, this isn't meant to be a Souls game. I assumed picking up Monster Hunter World was not meant to be the most challenging thing, because I had never heard, about this whole get good thing. None of this started back in the original Monster Hunter games. It started with the Souls series, with the Demon Souls and the Dark Souls, right? So, games of that level of challenge, Monster Hunter World was never intended to be. Now, once again, maybe I just suck, but I also got 4 other gamer friends who play a variety of these games, all different types. Some of them have platinumed, like Bloodborne and Dark Souls. Some of them play FPS games. Some of them play a lot more versatile games than I do. And all of us, basically, I got the furthest. Put it to you that way. Nobody else got to the Ice Dragon. Other people just, no, this is boring. The grinding, because that's the problem. At least in most games, if you grind in Final Fantasy, you level up. If you grind in Pokemon, your Pokemon evolve. If you grind in Kingdom Hearts, you get more money and more, and stuff like that. So you can go buy, in depending on the type of Kingdom Hearts game, which one you're playing, money might be important for certain items or certain this or certain that, and then you can craft better keyblades and all that stuff. There's always an aspect to the grind, but there is 0 point. If you're stuck at one point, why grind for a bunch of rocks and a bunch of bones and a bunch of shit from enemies that you've already crafted a full set of their armor? Their items now have 0 value to you because you can't get any further in the game. So these items that you've collected, I have like 30 bones and 30 scales and 30 of everything. It's no good to me because all I can do with them is craft armor that's crappier than the armor I have to fight this dragon. So it's just a ridiculous system. I didn't enjoy it. There was no fun to the grind. I didn't feel like I was going anywhere. The more I grinded and grinded, the more bounties and bounties and bounties to try to get better at the game, it felt sluggish and it felt boring, and I fell asleep playing it most times. Especially the load times for every damn bounty. That was getting ridiculous. The load times in between going back and forth to each map. Like, let me do all the bounties on the map. Or at the very least, let me do like 5 or 6, It seemed absolutely ridiculous. They would make you quit after each one sort of idea, or if you wanted to select multiple of the big ones, you had to go and come back and go and come back. It was just, like, am I the only one who feels this way? Once again, first Monster Hunter game, maybe this game was more of an ode to veteran players, but that should be announced somewhere. That should have been made known somewhere, that if you didn't play the Monster Hunter games, you're going to have a hard time jumping into this because the difficulty curve is not nice. It's not, so but that's basically all I wanted to say. I made this thumbnail back when I was first playing Monster Hunter World. I had the full intention of platinuming this game. I planned to put 200 hours into this game to get that platinum because I always love to get a long, hard RPG platinum. And this just was not it, guys. This was not it. I will put my time in. I did the Persona 5. You guys have seen some of my platinums that I have had. I have put over hundreds of hours into one platinum. So don't get me wrong, but I couldn't even put in enough hours to even finish this game. I know I'm not even halfway. I can't be. There is way more to this game, and I couldn't even get halfway. That speaks volumes to me. That tells me that the difficulty spike is too vast. They expect you to have a skill level with a bad control system that doesn't attune it. It's actually the controls seem to... What I'm trying to talk about is the controls actually try to fight you. They're not there to help you. There's with no targeting auto cam, with no method of locking on to the enemies, with no method of, I'm sorry guys, I don't like the whole every single fight to be, okay, dodge, 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 check, Okay, hit him once at the back and roll away and stuff. You know, like, and then dodge, dodge, dodge. I don't want to fight hour-long battles every single time I fight something. That doesn't make a game fun. Hour-long boss battles are meant for final bosses in games. Like, seriously, or secret bosses. You imagine if in Pokemon every gym battle took 1 hour? Every gym battle took 1 hour. Every Zelda temple boss, just the boss, took an hour. How would anybody want to complete that game? I certainly wouldn't, because if you spend 45 to 50 minutes and lose 4 times in a row, you just spent a whole afternoon getting nowhere. At least most RPGs, there's a sense of accomplishment that even when you lose, you know, you can go, you can grind. Even if you spend all weekend grinding, at least you've got some experience points, you got some money, you got something out of it. You got some crafting materials that aren't useless by that point in the game. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I played the game wrong, guys. But from 4 people that have never played a Monster Hunter World game, we all dropped it as a result of this. You know, call us, tell us to get good and all this other stuff. Well, one friend, I guess I'm not friends with him anymore. He kicked me out of his wedding, so that's the thing. But the other friends, they dropped it too. I got one friend who actually did play it. He's like Hunter rank 183 or something. But I haven't spoken to him about what I'm doing wrong or something. You know, I haven't spoken to him for a few months, so I have no idea. Maybe he could have told me. But yeah. That's all I'm saying. I can't remark on anything else. I thought the graphics were kind of lackluster, honestly. The monsters look pretty good, but these maps are ridiculously small. The loading times are shit. The graphics don't look up to snuff of what a main series game should look on a PS4 scale. You know, they weren't going for the cartoony. So if you're not going for the like Crash, Spyro, Mario look, then your game just doesn't look like, these look like PS3 like early stage graphics to me. Grand Theft Auto 4 had better graphics. Like, this does not look that polished or that great. Other than some of the monster designs, they look good, but like the characters and stuff, some of the environments, they're like meh. They're only okay. They get boring and repetitive after a long while. I felt like it was a Dragon Age 2 thing where, yeah, it's a long game, it's a fun game, but they just keep recycling the same map. Well, when you go to the same map to do 50 to 100 bounties on the same damn map every time, that gets really repetitive too, guys. Like, this game just isn't good. Like, I just don't see how anybody would get any enjoyment out of it and play it to any type of completion. It's not a game for me. Now, if you enjoyed this game, let me know down in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this game, tell me what I did wrong and stuff. Guys, this is a bit of a rant video, but this is my opinion. I never hide my opinion from you guys. I always give you what I feel, what I think. So let me know how I'm wrong down in the comment section down below. But if you're going to tell me, no, you suck at this game, you played it wrong, that Monster Hunter World doesn't need what you complained about, it's not really an RPG, it's not really that, you just don't know what you're doing. If you tell me all that, fine, dandy, that's up to you. Dislike the video, do all that. But please, guys, please let me know down in the comment section below also what aspects I was doing wrong. Tell me how to play this game better, because I looked on guides on, you know, game facts and all that stuff. I looked up help, 10 tips, you know, tips and tricks, all that stuff. In the end, it was helpful advice, but none of it helped me to this point. And I just dropped the game. I have many more games to play, right? And after dropping that, I went to Kingdom Hearts. And trust me, Kingdom Hearts is a far better game, bar none. So clearly, I'm glad I didn't waste my time waiting around getting frustrated and losing at a game that just wasn't even that good. And I could spend more time playing Kingdom Hearts and platinuming that. So that's my take on it, guys. What do you think? Let me know down in the comment section down below. I keep repeating myself, but I really want to hear from you guys about this, because I did not like this game. I think this game is shit. Really do. Even if you enjoyed it, the system is clunky, the graphics aren't great, the sound's meh, and the trophy guide, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you, because it's got RPG level time, but I ain't wasting my time. So like, comment, subscribe as always, guys, or dislike, because this is a bit of a hate on for, you know, I got a hate boner for this game, but no, I'm not going to show you, you thirsty. So let's drink responsibly as always. This has been Griever signing out.